Hey guys, it's Brian from Weird World War II. Today we have an excellent guest and a sponsor, I have to admit. The owner, the creator, the man behind 2 Hour War Games. We have Ed Teixeira. Welcome, Ed.
How you doing?
It's good to see you, man. It's damn good to see you.
It's been years, bro. Been years.
Been a while, dude. It's been a while. Yeah, you ran off from Texas, but you're back. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're back.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Right on. Well, I tell you, again, Weird World War II would like to say thank you for becoming a sponsor. A lot of excellent. You guys have tons of great rule books to choose from, and there's some Weird War in there too. JC wrote a pretty sweet Weird World War II book. Can't wait to check it out. But first, okay, so this is about you. So first question, what got you into gaming?
Oh man, you talk about luck and strange occurrences. So it's 1974. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Wow.
And I'm pumping gas at a gas station in a place called Cambria, California, on my honeymoon. Across the street, thing says Soldier Factory. What's that? We go in there. The guy's name is Jack Scrooby. Google that dude. He was like the guy that brought gaming to America, man. It was amazing, amazing stuff. Had tons of minis, huge table, incredible. And I went inside, bought some little cheap pre-painted N-Gauge. Do you make N-Gauge anymore? N-Gauge Civil War figures and a set of rules, and took it from there. It was a trip. It was just totally lucky. If I didn't run out of gas, never would have stopped.
Wow. It was just that. It's just that interaction that got you like, hey, wait a minute, what is this stuff?
I'd never heard of it before. I'd never seen it before, And then he had all the detailed stuff, really good terrain, all that kind of stuff. It was excellent. I was very lucky.
Did you start gaming? Did you start like heavy gaming, or what did you do?
Well, I was trying to find people because there wasn't a lot of people gaming back then. So I gamed with a few friends and just did some gaming, had to work and stuff, but it was nice. Had a sand table, which is like old school, dude. You make up terrain out of sand, whatever. But it was fun. Did some gaming. And then many years later, started to got tired of some of the games. Really huge tables, took forever. You spent all your time moving the guys around, no shooting, So they just took a leap on it and did a thing called Warrior Kings in '98.
Okay.
And Artie Conlip, I think that's the guy's name.
Okay.
He did a big set of rules. He came by and said, dude, this is actually pretty good. I go, really? I just was at a little convention, black and white stuff, and worked out really well. Then weird. 1998, someone did that, but the 2001, I did 6 Gun Sound. That was a cowboy set of rules. Just wanted to do it and see how it worked out. It worked out kind of good. So.
And you're basically shopping these out at the cons, just like letting people play your rules in the cons and stuff.
Yeah. I just do a small little black and white set of rules they could play with, and just that was the big thing, man. Hitting the cons up and just playing them. People would say these are really good. It's like, okay, thanks, man. Then I got really lucky because some of the guys that I knew were cops, soldiers that had been in Iraq and Vietnam, tunnel rats, and gangers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about, man, that's not how gunfights work. So yeah, they explained to me. And I got, yeah, okay, it's reaction. How fast can you react? Because all these games now, even back then, it's my turn. I move, I shoot you. You don't do anything. It's like
you go, I go.
Yeah, but with reaction, I step out. You see me roll off. Who gets to go first? Maybe you're better than I am. You shoot before I do. But it's pretty interesting.
I mean that is it's more realistic mechanic where you see a unit running towards you. It's my turn, so I'm just running towards you. And why aren't those guys reacting? But yeah, it's a great mechanic.
Yeah, it was just something I stumbled on. People were talking about, we're playing, and they were going, "Oh man, that's not how it is in real life." Like, okay, whatever. I'd never been in shooting and stuff in combat. Thank goodness. So
it's good to have that insight. Those buddies with that insight, that kind of tell you the realism of the brawl. Because TV, I guess you could watch some TV, right?
Yeah.
But that's not quite always real. But so you started doing these rules. So what, when, and why did you start 2 Hour?
Well, like I said, I did the 2 hour gig because I got tired of rules being so long to play, and I wanted something quicker. And then sometimes people, they go, man, you play like skirmish rules. Because see, back in the day, it was all big units of 12 figures, 15 figures, stuff like that, 24 figures. So now you're playing skirmish. Each guy is one person. It's like, well, that's really kind of difficult and different. So I did 6-gun sound, some other things. And then I was walking in a bookstore, and I saw this thing by, I think it's Mel Brooks' kid, called The Zombie Survival Guide.
Oh, yeah.
I picked it up and I read it, and I go, I can make a game out of this. So I made all things zombie, right? No big deal. So I put out 2005, and a friend of mine goes, dude, you got to check it out. What happened? You got an award, a worldwide reward for best miniature game. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, check it out. They sent me the trophy, all that stuff. I'm going, you kidding me? And then all of a sudden it was like zombies. But see, back then there was only one zombie game before that. It was like a little cardboard game you put on the table and move the guys around, stuff like that. But
dude, I mean, I can't think of a miniature wargaming like zombie game before yours, to be honest with you. I mean, there was a couple board games, like you said, there's some, but not miniature wargaming. Not that I remember.
And they were tripping me. I run a convention. They go, "What is this? It's a zombie game." Are you kidding me? No, man. We do things like Hannah Montana Mall.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Yep. And your preferred scale was 15, if I remember correctly. Just personal preference.
Yeah. For a lot of times it was 15. For conventions it works quicker, more. But now you get 28s are really good because you're playing with less guys. Usually, you've got 5 guys in your 5 figures to play with, and you might run into up to 7. That's a dozen figures on the table. So you can do either way. 15s are good. I love 15s. Easier for me to paint because I paint.
Oh my God, ain't that the truth? But now everybody and their brother has a zombie game, and do you take a little bit like? Do people give you credit for like kind of starting it? The skirmish zombie thing.
What I've noticed is when people have zombie games, and they're really good games, because the nice thing is I've never really looked at another game and kind of used it for. And what they'll say is, it's a zombie game. It's really cool. It's like All Things Zombie. Or they'll say, well, All Things Zombie is a little bit different, but they kind of refer to it.
Uh-huh.
And it's a trip. I was going places, they're going, "You're the zombie dude." I go, "Yeah." And he go, "Oh man, give me your autograph." I was like, "What?"
Oh, dude.
It's the game, man. He goes, and they tell you stories, and the amazing stuff. The zombie game by far tells you more human people, human life, how people react in any other game. Typically, you might have played at a convention we played. You split the teams in half, right? You get half. When only one team's left, it's a free for all.
Yeah.
And it changes.
It's brutal.
I have 2 guys running down an alley. One guy doesn't make the fast move. Hold up, wait for me. He goes, "I got to outrun you, bro. That's it."
That's it. It's not how fast you are. It's how fast I can outrun you. That's right.
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting game. It tells you a lot about the people. I had an 11-year-old girl swearing.
Well, it's true. I mean, because I've been in some of the games, and it does. It's like, are you gonna help your buddies? Or are you gonna just like, see you, dude?
Yeah.
So it leaves that the mechanics leave that that kind of role play. It would be be limited role playing in your wargaming. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. It's like, what are you gonna do when the real zombies show up, man?
And so from there, it just kind of, you use the core mechanics and you just kind of started adding new things like westerns and like guns, like a pulp and gangster and stuff like that. But you just basically use still the same core rule system, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I started a thing called. It started out being Guns and Girls.
I remember Guns and Girls.
Guns and Girls.
I have
Man.
one.
Yeah, well, the cover had ladies in bikinis with automatic weapons.
I remember.
Caught a lot of flack for that one. So we changed it to a chain reaction. And so there's been like 3 or 4 versions of chain reaction because, man, gamers have changed over the years. Now you don't want to play the big table. Now you want a smaller game. You want a quicker game, easier mechanics, which is cool. I mean, I understand that totally. But yeah, you're right. I use a similar system, the reaction system, for almost everything. And it works out pretty well because people don't change.
Yeah.
I mean, you get shot at with a crossbow or you get shot at by a gun, you're going to react either way.
Well, and it's comforting also as a gamer that you can branch off into these new genres without having to really learn a new game because the mechanics are pretty, similar to the games. So,
Mhm.
you have those core fans that can go and do different genres using the same rules, basically.
Yeah, and the nice thing is you can pull rules from one set to another set.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, I'm gonna do it this way. I like it this way better. And like I tell people, it's your game, man. That's why when you talk about Weird War, that's perfect because you can add anything you want to it. It's your game. It's a basic World War II kind of, but man, put mechs in there, put zombies in there, put magic in there, whatever you want to build.
Well, see, I think that's the reason. Yeah, the reason I went weird is because I was a historical gamer for so long, and you can only play historical battles so many times. It's just the same thing, same units. Da, 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 da. And I was a big comic book guy, and I read all the pulp magazines of the past, and I'm like, I should insert that crap in there and have a blast. And then I haven't stopped since. But yeah. So, but yeah, 2 Hour Wargames, line of books lend to almost any setting or genre.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's nice to have some of the mechanics. You can pick up one and say, yeah, I understand how to play that a little bit. That's why I've gotten more into the individual, smaller squad, because you're right. You play the same games over and over, World War II, Napoleonics, Column Line Square, all that kind of stuff. But man, when you start playing where you're the guy in charge,
yeah,
you got your different guys in your squad. Like I tell people, just name the guys after your high school friends, man.
They're your enemy.
Yeah, because then the asshole gets to be point man, right? But anyway, then you just kind of do that, and then you kind of build your story. And if you play the game quick enough, you can knock it out. It says 2 hours, but now you can knock out a little, gunfight, maybe 15 minutes, and move on to the next one. So you're kind of building it like a chapters in a book.
I think the small figure count is also a draw for people who don't want to commit these, large amounts of money for these armies. That's, I mean, if you're not a gamer, if you're not a modeler or a gamer to begin with, I mean, that's a big pay-in to start playing. Like, if you play 40K or something, that's a lot of money just to play. And these skirmish games, I think that's why these skirmish games are so popular now. It's because people don't need that high figure count to play.
And you can paint them quicker, man.
Yeah.
But see, what I remember was playing like big games like Empire, back Napoleonics, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is the sweet spot is 12 units.
Yeah.
Okay. How many figures? You don't care. I got 12 24-man units. You only got 12 units. So when you start playing these games, you're playing skirmish. I got 5 guys in my team. I got 10 guys in my squad. Same principle. Yep. But now instead of having to get 24 figures, now you only put 1. So it does save on the money, saves on the time. And man, like I said, I could not paint. I mean, if I didn't do it with a spray gun, I couldn't paint at all.
As I get older, my eyes are shot to hell. So painting's a chore. But yeah, if I could play just a couple minis, that's a great start point. So over the years, I mean, you've been doing that. You've been a gamer since '74. Hell, I was born in '73, dude.
So I got out of high school then.
Yeah, you got some cred, under your belt for gaming. So okay, but you've got a long career in this biz and this hobby. Tell me some insights of what you experienced, highs or lows, or it's funny to hear that you gained this huge accolade and you didn't even know about it.
Yeah. Somebody said, hey, send the rules in. Yeah, whatever. I sent in like nuts and all things up and just said whatever. Because I figured just wanted to get a free copy. And it was really bad. I mean, well, it wasn't bad. It was good artwork for that time, but nothing like they can do now. And then they said that. I go, what are you talking about? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, that's right. And then you're going to send me a trophy? Okay, cool.
Was it Origins or who did you get Origins?
Yeah, Origins Award.
That's a big one, man. That was a big one.
Yeah, and that kind of got me kind of looking at it, and then the thing was producing my own was kind of a pain, my little tiny printer and going to get some, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the low part. Now it's a lot nicer. I got a professional printer that does really quality work, but people sometimes don't want to play it. It's a zombie game. I'm going to play World War II. Well, I got a game for you that worked out perfect.
Yeah, perfect. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but I always looked at it as kind of, something I was doing for fun. So as it got busier, if it gets slower, it don't matter. It's consistent.
So
that's the thing.
So 2 Hour was like kind of like your secondary thing. I mean, it wasn't like your main job. It was kind of like on the side.
Oh yeah, until probably about, let me see, I used to work for a bunch of people. Oh, I had my own catering company too.
Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a lot of work, 20 employees, all that kind of stuff. And so I did this on the side. And then I worked for Starbucks, and we're at some meeting. They're going, all these managers here. How many people want to be a DM? Man, like 400 hands go up. I'm going, oh, forget that crap. Good luck with that. So I cut back on my expense and started doing this on the side. Then I started going, wow, I can almost live off of this. And so it's been my sole income maybe 15 years.
that's awesome, man. You're
Yeah,
living the dream. You're living the dream, dude.
I know. And like I said, I'm very lucky. If I didn't see that damn thing across my gas station, I never would have got started with this.
It's crazy. I mean, my origin was, I'd always been a modeler, but my brother had a friend. They were playing the old Heritage 15 millimeter Lord of the Rings. I came home from school one day and they're playing it. I'm like, what is this? And that was it. I was hooked. So yeah, it's cool to think that we all have that kind of, that spark, that origin. It's just that one instance where it's like, pow.
Well, you just reminded me of something. I was running a Kentucky Fried Chicken in Berkeley, California, which was a game debate. Berkeley.
Oh God, man.
But this guy comes in and goes, "Hey, do you play D&D?" I go, "What are you talking about?" "It's called Dungeons and Dragons." "Okay, what are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, come on over to my place, man." And after that, it's like, wow, this is really cool. And this is a game, and then people buy this stuff, and the guy gets paid, And it was a great game. I mean, I was not the first edition, but second edition.
Gotcha.
That a long time ago, and it was just fun, and that was the whole storytelling thing. That's why it was more attractive to me, instead of have these tons of guys on the field. Being a general, I understand, but don't know. I do the skirmish now, and then a lot of the games you have your missions, but then you go on R&R, so you're off. Mm-hmm. And you get to do other things. You do these chilling things, and other kind of stuff go on. You might get in a fight with a guy from another unit. So it kind of tie you in.
It's funny because like you're saying, in your system, a lot of war gamers are like, oh, I don't do role playing. There's that kind of stigma sometimes, but they're kind of tricked, because it's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm motivating, in almost kind of a role playing way, because you're playing like individuals. You're not playing unit like this, in the script unit that has no meaning other than bodies. And in your game, they have like traits and characteristics that come up, and it makes it a little bit of role playing.
It's funny. People say, I don't play role play. What do you play? I play Empire. Cool. So what are you? I'm the general. Wait, dude, you're not really a general in real life, right? You're playing a role. I never thought of it that way. And these units are still yours that you're commanding. Just bring it down. Bring it down.
That's awesome.
It's not for everybody. That's like everything. It's not for everybody.
Well, I think it's just, there's a stigma. When you think of role playing, you think of like Dungeons and Dragons, and then you think of like, the stereotypical Dungeons and Dragons crowd, and they might not, jibe with that, so they don't. But then it's like, hey man, you don't have to go that way. You can go there's all sorts of however you want to play it.
Yeah, and then Cyberpunk came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like, wow, this is kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but with real cool weapons and stuff.
With sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that was huge when Cyberpunk, all the Cyberpunk stuff came out. It was massive.
Oh yeah.
And it was just a different take. It was just like, you could have been doing that in the early 80s, late 70s if you wanted to. It's just, you gotta have that imagination going.
Yeah, I was playing that a lot. It's like, I like D&D, but man, the Cyberpunk's pretty cool.
So any, what you got any insights about, like the folks out there, thinking about their own rule systems or whatever? What do you have any insight on, like, creating your own or publishing your own stuff?
Yeah, people have asked me that, write the rules you want to write, because if you try to anticipate what somebody's going to want, sometimes it doesn't work, and if you want to get about your rules, play them at a convention. Never give it to somebody to read. That's just what I learned, because they'll read something. It's like, oh man, that's not an idea that I want to use, or he's right, I should change something. But play it till you're happy with it. Once you're happy with it, that's the biggest thing. Assume it's not going to be a living, but it can be fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And just make sure you explain the rules to them. Like with this stuff, you can change any rule you want to with 2-hour war games, and people do. And I just say, just make sure you tell the other guy you're playing against, if you're playing against somebody, what the change is. Because that happened to me playing another set of rules a long time ago, and I just walked away from the rules. Like the rule was 3 to the unshielded side could melee, right? 3 figures to the unshielded side. It's all right. So that's the side that you don't have, shields over here. That's the unshielded side. That's not how we interpret it. You could have told me this before we started the game,
Yeah. I mean, everybody needs to be on the same playing field before you start rolling dice, but yeah. But I have to admit, I mean, you have a pretty active and active community, a 2-hour war game gamer community, and on your forums and your boards and all that stuff. There's a lot of guys that are really, really into it, and it's cool to see.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate. Thank God for the internet, because before that, it was all word of mouth, man. And it's weird because I get orders and contact from guys like in Singapore, and it's like, dude. But then again, shipping is just crazy out of the United States. It's like, God. So I tell them, dude, go to Amazon, because it's going to be on Amazon. Amazon will get you free shipping if you got the kind of gig. But yeah, the internet, you bring people, well, hey, look at this, right? You're farther up north than I am over here. We're talking, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I've met, as a gamer, I've met lifelong friends I've never met in person. It's crazy just to think about.
Yeah. The guy that did all my artwork, like the stuff behind me when I first started, Paul Kine, never met him, man. English dude. Fantastic covers they all came out. It was just very, very fortunate.
That's cool. I mean, it's all the internet, and you can sell your product online too, with all the PDFs and stuff. You don't even have to do physical, products anymore if you don't want them.
Well, it's interesting, because as the people that are getting older that are playing, they're getting more used to the internet, and which sounds really kind of old, but yeah, that's how it is. And I do maybe 20% printed books, 80% PDFs. But also, if you buy my book, I give you the PDF free. And people are going, you can't. Yeah, you can, because that, it's good. You just print out the QRS real quick, instead of having to sit there and leaf through the book all the time. You still have the book there if you want it.
Yep, everything's going electronic, man. But that's great. Yeah. I mean, I'm still the old Gronard where I want a physical copy, but but that PDF, the electronic, is so easy, and everybody's got their phones, and I see at the cons, I see people looking at their rules on their phones, all that stuff. And although it's not my way, but I mean, it's a huge resource. If you got to look something up, it's POW. You don't have to drag this stuff around in a book bag or whatever with you. So it's a cool.
Yeah, most of my games have all the tables on maybe 2 pages. So you get a PDF, print the page double-sided. All you need to play over there. Wait, I'm not sure about this. Look in the book, But it's all about getting people gaming. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Getting that time away from real life to do something you want to do and enjoy.
And that's it, man. I mean, when I game, I want to be having fun. I don't want to be arguing about rules. I want to be pushing that, playing toy soldiers and killing my buddy's stuff. I don't want any of the BS. And that's what I do. It's fun for me. It's a decompression. It's not meant to be frustrating.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it too now, my stuff is all designed for solo and co-op play. And people like that, because they can play with their friends against some other people. You don't know what you're going to run into. Okay, it's World War II. Oh, a possible enemy force. Roll the dice. Oh crap, it's it's a German squad. Put the guys on there, and the rules will move them for you. So there's some good points about that. It's nothing better than playing with other people, though.
I think there's a lot of gamers out there that just don't have anybody to play with, and with solo rules becoming more popular, I think it just. It's a demand that was there, and people are starting to like, oh, well, solo gaming, that's a thing now,
Yeah. Especially if you tie it into the reaction system. You have no idea what's going to happen, and the game will dictate it. Roll the dice. Oh, he passed 2 dice. He's shooting at me. Oh, he passed 1 die. He's hunting for cover. He passed 0 dice. He ran away. You don't really know what's going to happen. You have an idea, but you don't know.
So what's going on next for 2-hour war games? What you got in plan for us?
That's a tough one. With people changing, some things aren't very popular anymore. I had like a lot of titles, man. I like 60 titles. Well, Colonial Adventures, Lost Lands, those kind of things, Napoleonics. Now it's all in order: World War II, science fiction, and then fantasy. Zombies, they're there, but not very much. Then you have particular ones, like colonials or pulps and that kind of stuff. But I've been doing some quick play stuff where you can play the games even quicker. Like on a battle board, like an 8x11 color card stock thing, and you just put it out there and move the figures on it, move the counters on it. So you're getting there and doing the combat. That's the big thing. Do the combat. How you got there, don't worry about it, man. Because I used to hate. Well, let me see. I'm moving 12 inches at a turn, and I don't see anybody. I have to move again. Next turn, his turn. Then by that time you get there, you spend most of the time moving on the table, and then very short time doing any combat. So now it's just like roll the dice. Oh, you ran into this. Do the combat. Next guy, do the combat. So it plays a little quicker. That's the biggest thing. People, really want to get stuff done quicker.
But, I mean, it's nice to have a huge catalog of product too, because like as you said, it ebb and flows what people are into at the time, and you got everything covered, brother.
yeah. There's quite a bit to choose from, which is kind of nice. And then, like you said, I have a pretty good internet following, so it works out well because they're all telling each other, hey, where do I find this? Where do I find that? Hey, FNG, yeah, I go get it over there. Who's got Rebel Minis got it now? Okay, over there. Because Rebel Minis, he's been picking up 2-hour war game classics, stuff. When you get to a certain point, if you got like 3 editions of one thing, the first and second don't move as much because they're older. But he picks them up, and people want them. When that's good for him, good for me. Because I want to keep on the same page that I'm on now. I don't want to, do some really strange stuff. But as for mostly scenario books, I think would be the way to do it.
Campaign books and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, or was it Patreon? I think.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I guess it's something where they pay like $3 or $4 a month or something like that and get some special stuff. I don't really. I'm lucky. I don't really want to. I'm not like a big company. Want to make all the bucks. I just want to go ahead and have something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you having this huge catalog and this huge gaming experience. I gotta call you. I gotta ask you, what weird World War? What do you like most about Weird World War II?
You can make it your game.
Yeah.
And if you dig deep, there was some weird stuff going on in World War II.
Oh yeah.
You just got to dig for it. It's like, oh, they were trying to do that. This is really cool. Well, now you
desperation, man, makes you do crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find the chalice, whatever, like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, or I'm gonna go ahead and making these zombie guys or these guys that can't get hurt and all that kind of stuff, or we gotta use more gas. We gotta use gas. Maybe
or even
change their mind.
Even historically, let's put some mines on these dogs and make them run towards the enemy tanks, or it's just like what?
Yeah,
but it's just that. What can we militarize?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like science fiction and fantasy, but it's stuck in a modern time. So it's not like laser beams. Well, you can't have laser beams, but you still have the basics. This is World War II. These are the Japanese. These are the Germans. These are the Americans. It's all this kind of stuff. You can kind of relate to it, and then you can do whatever you want to do, make some stories up. That's why I think the book that John put out is excellent because he covers so much stuff.
Oh my God, he hit everything.
It's like 200 something pages, man. Because I know
great.
I did everything. It's fantastic, and that's one thing that's nice. I've got a lot of books. I had a lot of books, but I have a lot of authors too, and they've done some really good work because they look at the rules and they spin them in a different direction.
And that your mechanics allow for that. Make it your own, and why not have these guys who want to help out. It's a great business model to have. If people want to write for you on your stuff, bring them on board. That's great. Yeah.
And they get paid decent, because here's a quick story. I love Lock and Load. Okay, the board gamers.
Yeah.
The first guy owned Lock and Load. He goes, I want to do all things zombie board game. I said, all right. What's the percentage? He goes, 25%. He goes, what? 25%. He goes, no, the royalty average is 8%. That's cool, man. It's been nice talking to you. All right, no problem. 3 months later, all right, 25%. All right, we'll do it. The zombie game came out and was really cool, right? And they did classy work. About 5 years later, Lock and Load calls again. New guy bought the company. Want to do another zombie game? Same thing. 8%. No, 25%. Okay, you know. But that's what I pay my guys, 25%, you know,
That's awesome.
after. So it's not, you're not going to get rich, but you know what? It's a nice little chunk of change sometimes. When it first comes out, you sell a lot, and then it slows down, you know. But yeah, these are people that can write, that know how to play the game, and they're doing a good job. They're having fun and making a few bucks.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that solidifies that, you know, the fan base, and that drive to keep pushing it and to keep making it bigger and better and new. So hey, you got yourself a great machine, a living, breathing machine.
It's working out pretty well. We're pretty lucky.
You know, well, guys, I wanted to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it just beats a real job.
Oh man, I bet. Jeez. Well, guys, again, Ed Teixeira, the man behind 2 Hour Wargames. Definitely check out. We've got some discounts. We got some sponsor discounts. Swing over to the website. Check out all of his huge catalog of stuff. He's got some a huge crowdfunded Kickstarter. Should be dropping in here pretty quick into the shop, right? Physical copies and stuff.
Yeah. They're actually sending out physical copies to the backers. Once that happens, then they'll be out in the shops, they'll be out in Amazon, they'll be like directly from the site. You can order direct. It's good quality printing stuff.
I've seen them. They're fantastic books. The artwork's increased. Just jam-packed full of stuff. It's great. All right. Well, Ed, it was fantastic talking to you again. I mean, you're only a couple hours away. We're gonna have to meet up sometime and roll some dice, brother.
Oh, for sure. I guess they're moving MCon up north, farther north. You hear about that?
They did in my town in Temple.
Oh, really?
It's 5 minutes away from my house.
It's good stuff, man.
I know, dude. It's even better now. But yeah. All right, guys. So Ed, from all of us, all the Weird War weirdos out there, you keep it weird, brother.
We appreciate you, man. Take care.
All right.